Nick, and talk a little wrestling. Good morning, Nick.
What's going on, Dave? How are you?
Pretty good, man. First off, tell us about this Rutgers club wrestling team. I know you guys are trying to raise a little bit of funds to get to some tournaments and get some gear together. How can people help you out with that?
Basically, I tweeted out on my Twitter page, and it's over Facebook too. We have a GoFundMe page. Like you said, we're just trying to raise some more funds, possibly get some more singlets. More importantly, we're trying to get more appearances and more tournaments throughout the season. Because we had a handful of guys ineligible the other week to go to the national tournament qualifier down in Maryland because not enough guys had 2 separate weigh-ins. So we're just, mainly we're just looking to get more matches and more tournaments so we can get more guys down there. We only sent one guy to nationals just this in the past few days. Actually, nationals is wrapping up today down in Orlando, Kissimmee area. We only sent one guy down there. Our team president actually went down there. Unfortunately, finished 0-2 during the week because he was coming off an injury. But we still sent one guy down there. We'd like to send more next year. Considering last year we sent about 6-7 guys. So it's more about just getting more funds for tournaments and more matches. And obviously we want to get better singlets, more gear, so we have. We look a little more official, because we're all student run. We have no coach, so we're all student run, so we're just doing the best we can. Any
South Jersey guys on the club team?
Mostly guys that are up here. Most of the kids who go to Rutgers, we're all Central Jersey, North Jersey kids. We'll occasionally get the occasional South Jersey straggler in there. Nothing too name worthy that not really. Probably get a kid that could have went. Some kids you could get that could have went to a D2, D3 college. Nothing name worthy that people around South Jersey would probably know. But we'll occasionally get the South Jersey straggler in there if they happen to attend the school.
Give us some of your thoughts real quick on the high school season, which wrapped up last week with the state championships in Atlantic City. Some of your takeaways from the state weekend and just the season in general.
Well, it was. I thought since we wrapped up our coverage of the region tournament, I thought it was a really good region tournament. And then obviously the state tournament rolled around, and we saw a lot of South Jersey guys get bumped early, and it was a rough season, I would say, for the South Jersey guys in the state tournament. But look, I think the biggest takeaways are, look at Jimmy Brady and Antonio Rodriguez from the Prep in Buena. Those 2 guys finished 3rd in the state, each in the 220 and heavyweight. So they really stepped up to represent South Jersey this season. Brady obviously very close to getting to that final against Mac Ferrenti, and Rodriguez was a couple points shy of also getting to the final. Could either of them won state titles? Yeah, sure, but you have to look at the guys that would have went up against. Brady's going up against. He would have went up against Mac Ferrenti, who's a Rutgers commit for next season. But 3rd place, very impressive for the both of them. I thought it was a good tournament for them. Other guys just didn't show. I wouldn't say didn't show up in the tournament this year, but just South Jersey always kind of runs into a buzzsaw when they get to the state tournament. You look at all the North Jersey powers and the Central Jersey teams that have a lot of studs. So I looked at my home high school, Acolor Township, sent 3 kids, and they all went 0-2. And Connor Augustino, Terrell Coleman, and Dietrich Trumbauer, who's graduating this year. They all went 0-2. They all had pretty tough draws, but that comes to the state tournament. You gotta be ready for the toughest matches you'll face all season. No matter who you face, everybody in that tournament's good. There's really no scrubs in that tournament. So, Connor and Terrell, they'll be back next year. They'll be they're only juniors in Dietrich. It was great. I know he's graduating. He went 0-2 to finish out the state tournament, but he made a great run to get there. So, props to him. And South Jersey, I guess he's got to look towards next year in terms of if these kids are going to be ready to go up against the North Jersey studs.
I'll tell you what, I was impressed with Dietrich and his run in the postseason. Particularly, he gave Brady a heck of a time in the regions. Only lost 3-1, and the kid he ran up against in the first round of states was just an absolute monster. And but he really wrestled his heart out, and it's great to see him finish up strong. You always want a kid like that who's just a grinder, a hard worker to really. You'd love to see him have some more success in states, but I think he represented himself and his school pretty well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I've known Dietrich for a while. Only being 2 years younger than me, so he comes in when I'm a junior. Yeah, that's right. He came in as a freshman. I was a junior. I wrestled with his brother too for a year. Knew his brother for a while. So yeah, I've known him for a while. He's a stand-up kid. He always gives you 110% no matter what you're doing, whether it was wrestling or football. You kind of knew he was going to be one of your hardest workers on the team. And I said it in the beginning of the individual postseason when Brady drugged him to 220. I said what luck he gets is he. I think he would have been easily. I thought he would easily be the favorite to win the 220-pound weight class at districts because he already beat Ben Maggio, who actually went up to heavyweight for the postseason. So I figured he's the odds-on favorite. He would capture a district title in his senior season. But then Brady drops. I said, well, that's got to be some pretty tough luck. He made a run to the finals, lost. Got pinned by Brady, but then he still makes it back to regions, and then he gets to win in the first round. He has to get matched up with Brady again, but then you really saw the amount of effort he put into his second go around with Brady, and only losing 3-2, nearly pulling off the upset. And then you can imagine the ripples the ripple effect that would have created if he was able to pull that victory. But then he won 3 matches in a row after losing to Brady in regions, and was able to make an appearance in states, capture third in regions. So my hat's off to him, and good luck to Dietrich after he graduates. He looks like he's going to be planning on playing football. So I mean, wherever the kid does, he's extremely smart. He's dedicated. So my hat's off to him after a great senior season.
We're talking with Nick Kosko, sophomore at Rutgers University. Also does some writing for me at Glory Days magazine. And I wrote an article about the prep guys and their run into states, and they were pretty impressive. Obviously we talked about Jim Brady getting third in the state, but also Nick Clark, Dylan Taylor, Reed White picked up his 100th win in the first round of states, and Jose Tabora, really battled through that shoulder injury all season, and he had a nice showing at states. Him and Clark were 1 win away from placing, so really a nice run by St. Augustine, and they've kind of established themselves as one of the premier teams in South Jersey.
Yeah, I think they've established themselves as the top team, one of the top teams in South Jersey for the past few years, especially since I've been in high school. The only lone time they weren't there was my sophomore season, when I think that was the last time we beat them for Makeover Township. The last time we actually beat the St. Augustine Pros. Since then, and they've really kind of dominated the rest of the field, and they've kind of owned South Jersey, and they're known as a state power considering they're the top team around here, and they kind of run the table with everybody else, and they're pretty even keel with, or they're on par with the other teams from North Jersey and all the other Central Jersey powers as well. Also I want to get hats off to Jose Tabor battling through the shoulder injury. I know he was one of our big stories coming out of regions, considering he had to battle through a shoulder injury all season. He managed to win his first region title. It was his first trip to state, so props to him for being able to not get distracted by the big spotlight of Boardwalk Hall, and being able to, he was, just one, like you said, one match away from being in the top 8 and being on the podium. And Nick Clark again making another state tournament run. I believe that was his second time in state. So being it's always disappointing to only be one match away from states, or excuse me, from placing in states. So I mean, it is disappointing, but you have to take some kind of pride in it, considering you're technically top 12 in the state, and that's in itself a magnificent achievement. So
sure, yeah.
My hats off. Yeah, so my hats off to them and Reed White getting his 100th win. That's always a big milestone. And Dylan Taylor, another great performance, one of the top kids in the weight class around in the South Jersey area. So just these guys just trying to make names for themselves in the states. St. Augustine Prep definitely has the ability to do that year in and year out. Getting these kids from everywhere as freshmen, getting them, great matches as freshmen. They keep improving every year, and St. Augustine Prep doesn't churn out state place winners for nothing.
Real quick, Nick, you got to be psyched up for the NCAAs coming up soon. Tell us a little bit about that. I guess you're going to get the old media credential for that, right?
I'm really excited. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, all 3 days. Rutgers sent up all 10 of their wrestlers in their lineup to the national tournament this year for WRCU-FM in New Brunswick, the radio station up at Rutgers. We're going to be covering it. This is the first year we ever covered wrestling. That was kind of my idea at the beginning of the year, and then I pushed for the coverage of the NCAA tournament. You kind of have to do it. And Rutgers wrestling, one of the top program in the athletic department up at school. They're sending all 10 kids there, so we're going to be covering day and night sessions each day, starting at 12 on Thursday. You can catch all the action if you just, they have a web, radio.rutgers.edu, also gives you the coverage. So, I'm really excited. I'm going to be, at the Madison Square Garden, so, couldn't be a better venue. It's right in our own backyard practically. Could have a couple All-Americans this year in Anthony Ashall, Anthony Perotti, and maybe one or two more. And I would not be surprised if 141-pound Anthony Ashall at a South Plainfield. And I would not be surprised if he makes a national title run. We're seeing him in the finals on Saturday night either.
Good stuff, man. We're up against the break. Got to let you go, but we'll catch up with you soon, buddy.
All right, Dave. Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks, Nick. Appreciate it. That was Nick Kosko, sophomore at Rutgers University, doing a lot of broadcast journalism up there.